Okay, so in the last video I asked you guys if you wanted to see a project video with all the future and current projects. So I've got Brendan with me today.
Morning.
We've dragged everything out across the road and we're going to go through it piece by piece. There's a little bit of a backstory to this field. This is the campsite that me and my wife own. We bought it about 20 years ago. It was just a cow pasture and we turned it into a small campsite. But some of the projects will make more sense when you know that as the backstory.
What you're using the land for.
Yeah. Right, let's get into it. So guys, this is Brendan's C10. It's been asleep a little while. Brendan will talk you through his truck.
Yeah, it's been asleep for quite a while. It's been asleep for 25 odd years. Sat in an engineering chap's garage now. And he decided he was going to move it on, and that's where we came in and picked it up. We've got some footage of us going and dragging it out and getting it going. It's 1979. It's come off a military base here in the UK. It was based up in Scotland. You could probably see in the window screen there's a map of the old camp that it was on. It's quite a cool old thing. It needs some love. It's a bit second hand, not running a long time, but with a little bit of go juice. Checking over, we managed to get her fired up and running, and she runs and drives, and we've got brakes. So yeah, it's a pretty good little thing really, and to think it's sat all that time and then we've managed to get it fired up and going is really pretty impressive and a testament to the old girl really. It's a cool old bus. It's pretty scabby here and there in places. The chassis is really solid. It's a nice thing. I'll pop the bonnet and show you. She's a straight 6. I will not pop the bonnet in here because it's on the outside. Which is really cool. It's generally some cool features. I do like these old American stuff. They're just so robust and really well built. She's looking a bit second-hand and a bit scabby, but she's all there and she does drive.
So what is the plan for this truck?
Well, the original plan was I wanted it a V8 and manual, a bit of a Pro Touring type vibe I was thinking on. And to that end, I bought a Jaguar XJR. An X308 that we were going to convert and pull all the running gear out of that and put it all underneath this. Since that's happened, not quite 100% sure whether we're going to keep doing that because I've been driving around in the Jag and quite like it. So now there's talks of manual swapping the Jag and putting a small block Chevy in this and still converting it and have it as manual, maybe use a BMW box, a 5-speed out an E46 or something like that. It's choices really, deciding quite 100% what we want to do. The Jag would go lovely under it. It's a nice supercharged V8 Jag motor. It would work really well. It's already got all the big brakes and the suspension and everything. I could take over and basically have an XJR underneath my 1979 C10. I just can't quite 100% decide. So it's a project we're going to be doing, but I think we may be leaning towards putting a Chevy small block in it and keeping the Jag as is and maybe manual swapping the Jag.
It's a cool truck.
It's a cool thing, isn't it?
What we're going to do next, we're going to go to the opposite end of the line and we'll just work our way in to the middle.
Work our way through.
Because the biggest one's in the middle, I think. So guys, this is my Leyland 154. I haven't had it very long. I've had it about maybe a month. We've used it today. It does run. It is very smoky. And we're going to use it to cut the grass on the campsite. That's the plan for this year. So if you guys want to see a video, I might pull the head off, do the injectors, go through the engine a little bit. We're not going to go crazy, just a really cheap, quick freshen up so that it's usable. Service all the gearboxes, through the gearbox, do all the back end oils, obviously all the filters and bits and bobs. Maybe try and find a bit of a perspex or something to go in there so when it rains it's not so open. I might even bit of linseed oil on it, get some new bolts, some headlights, just tidy it up and make it a usable tractor. So if you guys are interested in seeing that little restoration, it won't take long. I'll maybe make one video out of it. Give us a comment and yeah, we'll get on with that.
Could possibly be the coolest Leyland in existence.
It's cool. So you may have seen this truck before on my channel. This is my 110 that I've used for work. I've had this truck now. I started my business in 2014 and this truck has been an absolutely vital part of it. I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done work-wise without this truck. It's been all over the country. It's towed trailers everywhere. It's been a faithful workhorse and it's needed very little. And if you follow my channel and you've seen the black OM606 truck we're building, that is what's going to replace this in the workplace. This is going to be sort of retired.
Going for a semi-retirement.
Yeah. So my plan with this truck is we're going to put it on air so we can adjust the ride height, but mainly so it rides nicely. I'm going to put a straight 6 4-litre Jag engine in it, an auto box, and fully sound deaden the whole interior. I'll show you what's under the bonnet at the minute. We've got 200 TDI in there. My plan with this truck is to make it so it's a comfortable family vehicle, nice comfy seats in the back, all proper seat belts, make it a usable family vehicle rather than such a commercial vehicle. I don't think I'm going to do anything with the paint. I really quite like it looking the way it does, so bit of patina on this one. I'll just get the camera and show you guys some different angles of the old girl. At the minute it's just used for work, so I've got a little tiny fold down seat if we do need to take anybody. As you can imagine, that is not comfy, but as an emergency seat it does a job.
It does function in the most British of ways.
Yeah, but you can imagine nice headline in this, a bulkhead across the centre section, a nice set of centre row seats, cut the bulkhead out. Not going to do anything really with the chassis. The chassis is really good. I mean, it's 40 years old, this truck, and the chassis is still, you know, it's had a couple of patches, but it's generally in really good nick. Yeah,
it's a nice thing.
Yeah, and I think it deserves now. It's worked so hard for me, this truck. It's unbelievable, like what it's done. I'll put some pictures in the video of what I've towed with it, but it's been an incredible workhorse. I think it's a fitting thing to do now, is to tidy it up and make it more of a family vehicle that isn't going to get the hard work anymore, you know, especially with its getting on. It's the same age as me, so
it does share your birthday.
It does, yeah,
which is a super cool feature. Born on the same day, that's why she's a keeper.
Yeah, I'll never sell that truck. Right, shall we move on to the next one?
Move on down the road.
In the last video, somebody commented they wanted to see a boat project, and this is going to be the project of all projects, this one. I've had this boat a long time, and unfortunately we sank the boat about 10 years ago. Somebody left a water ski in the lake and it hit the rudder and ripped the rudder box out. I'll show you what happened. I've rebuilt the engine, but the boat needs rebuilding next. No. Yeah. So guys, this is what happened. We didn't realise that somebody had body fillered and tidied up the bottom of the boat with body filler, and we hit, like I said, we hit a water ski and it just ripped the rudder box out and the boat sunk. It is mahogany, the whole boat's made of mahogany. I've spoke to Bosch, you can still get a lot of the wooden panels. The plan is to strip it all back and put it back to wood and put it back to its originally glossy mahogany finish. It should look really nice then.
People that aren't aware, Bosch and Riva are the
similar style of boat.
Similar style of boats. It's a lovely thing.
This one was built as a ski boat from new. I mean, look at the speedos, they're absolutely awesome. But yeah, the plan with this one is we need to watch about 1,000 hours of YouTube and learn some wood fabrication and restoration skills, because it's going to take a lot of work. I mean, the mechanical side of it's already done. I've already rebuilt the engine. It's just going to be jumping into this woodwork. It's going to be a big project.
But a really worthwhile and super cool thing when it's finished. I mean, if anybody's seen any of the Rivas or the Bosch boats, they're a lovely thing.
Yeah, they're quite special when they're in the water. It is a shame, but at the minute we're just it's not something we're going to do in the next 6 months. It's a future project, but it will make an amazing boat when it's finished again. Right guys, this thing, I don't know how, but I managed to buy this the other day. This is what happens when you go to the pub and have a couple too many drinks and speak to friends about trucks. So this rolled up a couple of days later, and it's amazing. Look at it. If anyone knows actually what it is, try put it in the comments. We think we know what it is.
Got a good idea of what's happening with it and what it originally started out with. I just wondered if anybody can spot what's hiding underneath.
It's got some cool Ross styles on it. Really like the wheels. The chassis has been shortened. There's a plate here, so the chassis has definitely been shortened. It's got a V8 Rover in it, and I think it's an LT85. It looks like an LT85 gear stick. It's a trialer. At some point it's been built up as a trials truck. I really don't know what to do with this one. If people want to see us get it going, even just get it going and have a blast round in it. We've got a rough lane we can test it on. People be interested in a video of this thing, see if we can get it going. Looks like quite an early Rover because of the rock covers, and it's on SUs.
Getting me marginally excited because I've just started a Rover V8 for the other 110 of mine that you saw in the previous hybrid turbo videos. Decided the hybrid turbo didn't really cut the mustard, so I'm going to put our old Rover V8 ad in it.
I'll put that footage in now when we collected that engine for Brendan, and there's some pictures of him stripping it down. So I'll put that in the footage now.
There's an old Rover V8 that was in a tree surgery 130 I had many moons ago, and we've dragged it back out, and we're going to make it back alive and pop it in my Land Rover.
That should be a cool truck when it's done with a nice V8 in it.
It should be a really cool thing when it's done.
I mean, this has definitely got a dashboard that you might recognise, because I recognise that dashboard straight away.
Yeah, as do I.
Those clocks are pretty recognisable. Yeah, so I really don't know what to do with this truck. If people want to see a project of us just get it going, you know, quick 10-minute video, 15-minute video, get it fired up, and maybe see if we can get it going down this rough lane we've got, and a bit of off-roading. I think it's past doing a restoration on, but
yeah, she's a bit ropey. Be good on your cattle ranch.
It's a cool looking truck. Every time I look at it, I think of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's got red bars on it.
Maybe we'll just put some dinosaur stickers on it and just use it as an off-roader. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it could be something for the lad to terrorise your campsite with.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? Right, we'll move on to the OM606 powered 110 next. So this is my 110 that we've been building on the channel. If you follow me at all and have watched any of the YouTube videos, you'll have seen us building this rear body, installing the OM606 engine, basically building the truck. There's no point going over this one too much because there's loads of footage on the channel about it. If you want to see the build, it's a full build series on there to watch. I am looking forward to having this one finished though. It's not that far away now. Most of the big expense is done. Yeah, it's going to make a lovely truck. I'm so looking forward to having this as my work truck. This is going to be amazing.
It's really going to be a super cool thing this when it's done, isn't it? It's the stack pipe on it's all sorts of different cool. There's quite a bit going on there. It's got loads of different vibes in it.
There's loads
of really
of
cool thing.
Custom parts. So there's loads of bits on this truck. Obviously, me and Brendan built this rear body ourselves. Just did a bit of a doodle on a napkin and built it. These roll bars are off a writing bag for a big diesel rib. Yeah, there's so many custom parts on this truck. It's all hand finished and we've sort of had a little touch everywhere, which is it's going to be a really nice thing when it's done. And the best thing is, look at that turbo.
Shiny. Like a magpie, do like shiny things.
This one's got blown warm air diesel heater, so that's a nice little modification. Obviously it's all on custom suspensions. We've put terra firma springs on it, terra firma dampers, and then cranked radius control arms. I've built all the axles. It's got hardened shafts in it. We've just gone through it piece by piece. The truck is fully built. I'm thinking this one should be done somewhere end of March to mid-April. If everything lines up, we can get it finished in that amount of time, I think. That'd be pretty good when it's done.
Well, the planets align, it'll be a way. It's going to be a super cool thing. That OM606 in it, it's going to be a complete powerhouse.
Yeah, it should go.
It'll pull like a steam train. Sound lovely doing it. What more could you want?
And if you've watched the video of us building the exhaust, hopefully you'll it should sound great because there's not a silencer in it from front to back.
Jury's out on how loud that's going to be, whether that's going to be manageable.
I think it's going to be loud. yeah, I'm looking forward to having this one finished.
Look at these array of beauties, look at them all go. There's some cool stuff on there.
So, possibly the coolest truck in the lineup, this little thing. It's a Series 1. It's been retrofitted with a V8. This is how I bought it. I haven't done a thing to this truck. I just bought it as it was and got it back home. It definitely needs work. I was promised it did run, but he stole a carburetor off it because he needed one for another project. So this is exactly how it came.
Just as she arrived.
We have got big plans for this truck. Yeah, so I've got a replacement chassis for this truck, but it is a Discovery chassis. The chassis on this, I'm pretty sure, is a Range Rover Classic that's been cut down. But we'll have a look underneath and you'll see. It's on coil springs, which is obviously not Series 1. And it looks to me like a shortened Range Rover Classic chassis. My thinking is, I've got a really tidy Discovery 1 chassis, and if we strip all the parts off this, we could go back to Discovery 1 but cut all the spring hangers and everything off, and then go to leaf springs to put this Series 1 back to more like a Series 1 should be. I know it won't be the original chassis, But I think if we can get from YRM, they do a kit to convert these later axles to leaf springs, so you can fit these onto a series chassis. I don't see why we can't just use them, make some spring hangers up and put it back on leaf springs and have a cool series one with a V8 in it, but on leaves and restored. I think that would be a really good thing with this truck.
Yeah, that would make it a nice usable thing, and a little bit more in keeping where it is at the moment.
Go back a little bit, try and make it a little bit more original. It's on LPG at the minute. Let's see if I open this section. You can see it's definitely been heavily modified. So it's got a gas tank. There's one, the fuel tank's back here. It's got some bits and bobs and switches and doodads, and we don't know what the hell's going on with any of it. That's cool though.
Behind your flat, you've got your filler for your petrol and for your LPG.
That is one thing we'll retain, because I really like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Complete with dog cage. No dog. Didn't come with it.
Jerry can racks. It's definitely different, this truck. I think it's got Discovery side folding seats as the main seats. We've got a lot of gauges.
Got more gauges than fingers.
We've got all this. Yeah, it definitely needs a lot of work. If you guys would like to see us restore this one, I think this is probably going to be one of the next ones we do. We've got even some beads, look at them.
We've got some nice beads. Are they rosemary?
I don't know. But if you guys think we should go back to leaf springs, put in the comments if you think we should just try and get it going as it is. We can do that. I don't mind spending a bit of time and money on this one because I do really like it and I think it's worth trying to save. I think it's I do think it's worth doing something with it. If we don't do anything with it now, 2 or 3 years time, it'll be too far gone, and it'll be a shame to lose it just to corrosion that way.
No, it'd be a waste. It's a lovely little thing, really. It's just been a bit misguided during its life, maybe.
Yeah, definitely need to lose the plastic Defender wheel arches
because they just
horrid.
Probably 10 different types of wrong.
Yeah, these are just not very nice. But there's definitely potential with this truck. Yeah. So we're on to the biggest vehicle here. Now this thing took some getting across the road. It's a cool old truck. This came as a complete fire engine. I didn't destroy a perfect Green Goddess. This thing was absolutely rotten.
A bit of a basket case.
We had ratchet straps holding it all together. The whole back body was just flopping about in the wind. It was a bit of a nightmare getting it back without losing all of it on the motorway. The rear body's been removed. I've got loads of footage of us taking it, stripping it all this down. The plan with this truck is to build this into a camper van. We've already started putting the wood on as for the new chassis, for the new floor, to build off basically. Going to have to replace quite a lot of that because it's been some time since we did it, and I've come up with a bit of a different design anyway. But the plan with this is to build a camper van on the back of it, integrate it into the cab, restore the cab in situ, and then we're going to change the engine because at the minute it's got a straight 6 5-litre petrol in it, and I did drive it around the campsite a few times, but it empties a jerry can in so quickly, it is unbelievable. So
yeah, she's got a thirst like nothing else.
it just would not be practical to drive down the road. The reason this project stopped and now is going to restart is because things changed a little bit, and we've now decided what we're going to do with the campsite. Originally this was going to be a static truck, so it was going to have no engine in it. People were just going to come and rent it out and come stay in it. Now we've decided to put a 5.9 Cummins in it, a Spicer 5-speed gearbox, and make it so it's something we can rent out. We're not going to let people drive it, but then we can also use it to go to steam rallies, holiday even. I don't think we're going to drive around to the whole country and do a Europe trip, but it'll be cool to be able to drive it on a weekend out.
Yeah, make it a nice usable thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the Green Goddess. I mean, I have kept all of the aluminium. Got tons of footage of me and Brendan stripping it all down. We kept all the aluminium side in, so we can reapply that to the new wood once we put it back up.
And make it keep its same silhouette.
Yep, we kept all the pumps, the housings.
See if I can take you on board.
Yeah, this is a bit dodgy getting in there.
If I can get in there without falling over. There we go, we're on board. Got a bit of all sorts going on in here.
There's definitely some spiders.
There's definitely some spiders. Some E-Type Jag-esque seats.
The seats are actually surprisingly comfy.
And really cool.
We did actually extend the chassis by about 3 foot. It would give us about an 18-foot camper internally. So that would be plenty big enough camper for 2 or 3, 2 adults and maybe a couple of kids. It's going to be big enough to do a weekend in without struggling for size. It needs a huge amount of work.
But it'll be a really cool thing when it's running, and it has been running.
It does run.
It does run. You've driven it.
I think if Brendan looks at the speedo, I think it's done 8,000 miles from memory. I've got a lot of the logs and stuff with it. It's done so little mileage. Is it done 8,000?
5,588.
5,500. It's done nothing. The engine sounds like a sewing machine. It is lovely. It's got a thirst like you would not believe. So
it's so thirsty we weren't sure if it was a water bowser or a fuel tank on the back.
Is that as good as a fire engine if you was doing local fires?
Yeah. If you didn't run out of fuel before you got there, we'd get your fire out. It's just a matter of when. Whether it burnt out under its own steam or whether we got there to put it out first. They did do some service in the UK, didn't they? They were dragged out on occasion.
This was actually an AFS truck. There's a little logo on the door. You can just about see that one. It's nearly gone. But on this door you can definitely see the AFS, which was Auxiliary Fire Service. That's a really cool. I'm going to try and mask that off and then lacquer over that so we don't lose that. Once that's gone, it's gone, isn't it?
It's gone, and that's a good part of its history. So they did press them into service, didn't they, during the strikes? And
yeah, and in the log that I've got for this, it does show that it's been in service and it's worked. It's been used, but it's yeah, she's just been left outside too long.
One of the few that didn't get rolled.
Yeah,
because they were a little bit folly-ovy.
But this is a 4-wheel drive one. Not all of them are 4-wheel drive. This is actually a 4-wheel drive one. So it makes it really easy to do the engine and gearbox swap, because all we have to do is a short shaft from the back of the gearbox to the divorce transfer case, and then power will go to the wheels. I'm thinking 5.9 Cummins, just stock, 150 horsepower. We don't need to turn it up to 600 horsepower, just absolutely basic stock, because the brakes on this thing are from 50 years, 60 years ago. So yeah, we don't need to be doing 100 mile an hour.
It's not a Baja support vehicle.
No.
It's just going to be a camper.
Yeah. Yeah, if it can cruise at 50 without really struggling, that'd be great. I think on those sort of size wheels and tyres, because we'd have to put new tyres on obviously, but there will be that type of tread pattern. I think 50-55 mile an hour would be absolutely ample. Right, we'll move on to the next one. So guys, we're down to our last truck, my trusty Silverado. I bought this truck and it was ex-US Air Force in the UK, but it had lost third and fourth gear. I had first and second, and it's a 4L60E. Common problem is the 3/4 piston had dried out. So I stripped the box, rebuilt the gearbox. I've got a few photos of that. I can put them in the corner and put it back together. I ran this truck then for about a year. Then Brendan bought this truck.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Ran it for...
What a machine, probably a year and a half, maybe longer.
Yes, quite a while.
Maybe nearly 2 years. Thoroughly enjoyed it, what a machine.
And then I bought it back again. And the plan with it is, the body on it is not perfect. It was never amazing from when we got it, but it's got a few dents in it now and it's a little bit past best. I have got a 1960s International Lodestar cab. And loads of people are doing it in the States, putting Lodestar cabs on these Silverado chassis or a Ram 3500 chassis. Some people are using the GMT 800 platform, but with the Cadillac Escalade and
all sorts of different ways of making it work.
So the plan is to put the Lodestar cab on this chassis. This chassis needs nothing. I mean, the chassis is in great condition, all the suspension's really good, the brakes are great. The motor and transmission are all good. It's not a high mileage truck.
And they drive so nice. They just drive really well, don't they?
Yeah.
They're such a nice driving truck and so well built, really heavy duty. I mean, all your suspension components and your lower arms and stuff like that were in the UK, and your European stuff's maybe made out of 1.5, maybe 2 mil at a push pressed. This stuff's made out of 3.5, 4 mil pressed stuff.
This feels more like our light duty trucks.
Yeah.
It is really well made.
Yeah, really well made. Ever so heavy duty.
So we're thinking with the Lodestar cab, this truck should be comfortable, fast, reasonably economical. This truck will do over 20 to the gallon with the LS in it that's got now. But also it should be reliable. We should be able to use it for work, jump in the truck, and it'll look so cool and
be infinitely usable.
So it should be smooth and fast, easy to drive. Everybody can drive it. It's not too complicated. It's just an auto. You put it in D. It should be infinitely a usable vehicle for work and everything.
Yeah, it should be a really usable thing. You should be able to say you just jump in it and drive and make it do the job you want it to do and look super cool doing it.
A quick recap of where we are. C10 at the end. We're going V8 manual, swap it.
Yeah.
Maybe turbos. Keep talking to Brendan about turbos. He's not said yes yet, but we're trying.
We keep pushing and maybe turbos might happen.
The Blue 110, my Blue 110, air suspension, make it like a Range Rover to drive, like a Range Rover Classic. 4 litre Jag, auto box, make it a family vehicle. That's a project I can jump into quite quickly as soon as my black Land Rover's done. The green and yellow Jurassic Park beast, that's going to be, I think, get it run video. If people want to see that, I can do that. And me and Brendan can maybe take it to, we've got an off-road track near us, haven't we?
Yeah, not
We'll
too
maybe
far
do a
away.
day off-road in it, see if it can last a day.
Yeah, see if it could last a day's off-roading expedition. That would be a good
I'm
laugh.
not sure if it'll do a full day. We've got the little Series 1 that is lovely. That's going to need a heavy restoration. I don't mind starting that one next if that's what people want to see. That'll be a really cool little truck.
But there's some work going on in there. There's some stuff to be done.
That'll be like a year project from start to finish. The Silverado Lodestar, we can start that one whenever really. As soon as that black truck's finished, we can start any one of these next. That's having the Lodestar cab. The chassis on that truck is great, so there's no point in taking that truck apart until the Lodestar cab is ready to fit, basically. So that's not a huge amount of work. It would be a big job, but not an absolutely gigantic job.
Amount of work.
This is a big job.
Yes, yeah, there's no two ways about that. That's got more work than we've got life left in us. No, there's a lots to do though.
The cab is all wooden structure. All the steelwork on the front is still absolutely solid. So there's no work to do there. The cab is wooden structure. That needs quite a bit.
Yeah, that needs some love.
Building the back. The actual building process of that wouldn't take that long. A couple of months and it would look a completely different truck. But yeah, if people want to see us do that, put 5.9 Cummins in it, make it into our sort of overland
camper,
then that's going to be a really cool project. Obviously, still building the OM606 Land Rover. That's going to be finished in the next couple of months. It's getting close. I know it doesn't look like it at the minute, but all the big expenditure's done now on that truck. It's got the engine, the gearbox is in, all the axles are rebuilt, brakes, the wiring looms in the truck, most of the lights are on the back. I've got all the bits for the front. The truck is 95% paid for now, that one.
It's a fuel pump and some other bits and bobs away from being good to go.
The Bosch, that's a big restoration. We might even see if somebody would like to help us. If somebody's a really good carpenter and they want to help us, I don't mind paying when we get to that job. If someone can, or point us in the right direction even, that'd be good.
That would be really good.
That'd be good, really helpful. And last but not least, the little Leyland 154. Quick tidy up on the motor, steam clean it, get it looking nice, linseed oil on the bonnet,
sprucey goosey,
oils, filters, grease, get it so it's usable and reliable, and it'll be a cool little campsite mower.
Yeah, it's a cool little thing.
So
Leyland's lovely.
That's it, guys, the whole collection of jumble. Thanks for watching.
Other bits and bobs that
there is more. There is more. These are the main ones.
There's my Glastron over there. There's some other bits and bobs, but this is the main stuff.
This is the main selection.
Didn't want to overwhelm YouTube.
No. So, thanks for watching the video. It'd be really cool if you could subscribe. Every time everyone subscribes, it really helps the channel grow and
makes a big difference.
Yeah, it really does.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks ever so much. We'll see you in the next one.
All the best.